Good morning and welcome to Coffee and, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel. Well, the moral of that was thanks for listening. Hi there. Good morning, everybody. This isn't Joe Callahan. Oh, we're going to shut the radio off. No, don't do that. Dave Richards here. Joe's busy with some personal business today, so he's not going to be heard today. And instead, ta-da, it's good old me. And Joe's fill-in and here at the station. So let's see what's going on. What do we got here? But that's what I'm looking for right there. I haven't worked this system since I built it. Joe's always the one that built it. All right, moving right along. It's time to say hello and how are ya to our dear friend Bob, what's his name? Phillips.
What's his name?
Yes, he's here. He's here. Bob Phillips is here this morning. Good morning. And he's here to replace me sitting in the chair that doesn't have the buttons and stuff like that. And then Melissa Murray will be replacing Melissa Murray, who is going to be late today, later in the show.
Okay.
And I think that's it. Joe didn't tell me who was coming in today. He might have said something, but I didn't write it down. And you know how it's been for the last 2 weeks here, because you were here for part of it, Bob.
I was here for a few, especially
yeah,
on
let
the
me
24th.
Get your microphone a little louder there. Go ahead.
Especially on the 24th.
Whoo, boy, was
all out.
Was that a day, huh?
Wow.
But we did good work.
What did we do, 100 and some odd calls?
107.
107.
107 calls in 2 hours.
2 hours.
Normally we do 35 to 30, maybe 40. Anywhere in the beginning of the auction is 25 to 35, then 35 to 40, and a normal auction, and we did 107 in the last auction. That's not bad at all. And our volunteers, you and Nancy were volunteering on the last big auction, the 2-hour spectacular. And
was
we
that
did.
what,
we
was
did
that
really
what
well.
you call it? Spectacular.
It certainly was. Well, once again, the auction project. This does not include the checks that are brought in and presented during the program. All the checks stuff that just goes straight to the milk fund. That's not part of our total, but our total just for the auctioning off of items for the milk fund was $12,248.
Awesome job,
and
Dave.
you are part of that, and we do appreciate it very, very much.
Well, we all have to do our part to make sure that the milk fund continues, because it's been
it's what Woonsocket does
fantastic
for Woonsocket. Yeah. Very nice
charity to help people. And I've talked to a lot of people who, when they were younger, got helped by the milk fund.
Yeah, I'm catching that a lot these days. Although we always remind everybody, nobody in the board of directors of Milk Fund Incorporated has ever seen a list with anyone's name on it.
No.
Ever. That is a rule. We don't see any names. Everything is redacted before we see it. All we see is the financials, how much milk was bought, how many families were helped, and things like that. We never see that. But
that's
then
all
now,
we need to see.
Yeah, that's right. But now we get to this point, and sometimes people will say, "Hey, I'm helping the milk fund because it helped me and our family." There was a single mother who mentioned it to me.
Absolutely.
She said, I had 5 kids, and I didn't have a husband. I just needed the help, and it was very valuable. So we're happy about that. We're still accepting donations for the Milk Fund, but we're not asking for them anymore. We don't ask after the 24th of December. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here she is, sitting in for the tardy, Melissa Murray. Oops, I got the wrong dang button over here. This is the first time I'm actually doing this since I built it.
Oh my goodness!
Joe has been running it since I built it, and now I got to figure out what I did. So anyway, good morning, Melissa Murray.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm well.
All right. Did we have a good weekend?
We did, and I brought kind of a funny thing because I just thought it was funny. So I'm wearing mittens, but it's for a reason.
Okay.
She's wearing woolen mittens, everyone.
So they're really warm. They're really great.
They're like an Indian pattern on really
you
dark
can see them.
mauve.
They're brown, different browns and tans and whites. I think Bob knows where I'm going with this. So He's laughing already.
I,
So
it's 41 degrees.
No,
it can't be because it's cold.
No, it's not. That's not the reason. So my very, very sweet aunt, who she's not listening to this because she lives across the country. My very sweet aunt sent my dad a pair of really warm mittens randomly, but they're not his size. As a matter of fact, we were like joking, like he couldn't even get his hands into them because they were small. But I was like, oh, I love mittens. I'll take those. So I was wearing them for a couple days, and then I realized they kind of look like Dave's not getting it.
I don't get it.
Bernie mittens. Remember that iconic like picture where Bernie Sanders is sitting there with the brown mittens? You're not getting it.
Yep.
Okay. They look like Bernie mittens. So
No.
then
I don't.
Okay.
That one went
That
right
was
by
a
me.
few years ago, too.
it was, and then like people made memes of it and stuff.
Yep.
So it was not meant to be like that. But as soon as I like brought them out, a couple of people were like, "Oh my gosh, really? Why do you have Bernie Sanders mittens?"
Well,
And I'm
how
like, but
wonder-
they're just mittens.
How wonderful is that, though? That how wonderful is that? That the gift was still bringing joy.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're great.
It was the wrong size, but happy things
Perfect.
happen.
They're
afterwards.
perfect for me. They're perfect for me, and
Well,
I'm always cold. So
Her dad's got quite long fingers.
these are, and actually, I think they're probably women's gloves, but my aunt probably didn't realize that.
I didn't
that-
know
but
there
that-
was such a thing as women's mittens and men's
Well,
mittens.
there's-
Gloves
they're-
I knew,
They're
but not
different
mittens.
size. They're different size. Yeah, there's no way that
Now,
like you could look at these.
Put them
They're
on
kinda,
again. Can you like do a puppet with that?
I mean, kind of, but yeah. I
That-
mean, they're
that looks
clearly
like-
they're clearly
It
like
almost looks like Cecil the C6 sea serpent.
they can be anything. It's a gift that keeps
Well, I
on
saw your
giving.
lips move. Well, good morning.
And they were
Mel-
very, very handy in the snow.
Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
All righty. Well, we have all kinds of things we could talk about. Do we want to talk about the Patriots? Good.
Well, good,
All right,
yes.
moving right along.
No, we for the first time in many years, the Patriots have the division. They won the division yesterday.
No, they didn't.
They did.
They won a game, and then the Buffalo Bills
They
lost
won
and
the
gave
division
them the division.
because the Buffalo Bills lost.
Believe it or not, we ended up watching 2 football games yesterday because the fabulous Denise says, "Okay, that's good, but it ain't it unless the Bills lose." So she turns on the Bills.
Of course.
And of course, now she's got the remote, and so we're watching the Bills. And I looked at it, and I said to myself, "Now that is a game, really, seriously. That was a game."
It was.
And
Especially with the rain that came down in there. In
all of
game.
that was part of it, and always is part of the nature is part of the sports contests that are played outside. So, but the peculiar part of it all is that I really thought the Bills would pull it off, and so did their coach. Until 5 seconds left in the game, and they didn't make the 2-point conversion. He gambled. He went all in. It was like he's there in Las Vegas and saying, "Let it ride." Got the big mount. We just came back from a big deficit. We scored our first point late in the game. We came back, and now we're going for it. We don't want to tie the game and go into overtime. We want to win the game outright. Oops.
But the commentators were right, though,
What?
on that aspect.
What?
They said, if you analyze the game, the Eagles did all their damage in the first half.
They did.
Didn't score, didn't really, what'd they get, 16 yards total
Yeah.
for the second half? So I would, if I were the coach, I would have kicked the point after, tied the game, gone into overtime, and let my defense do what they did during the second half of the game. And I would have left it up to my kicker to do a field goal.
You know what it's like when you make decisions. You divide the house. Some people are going to think you're an idiot, and some people are going to think you're a genius, depending on how the cards fall and what happens next. So, and the coach did that, and that's what a leader does. A leader, a decision maker, makes decisions,
And he brought
they
it
look
on
at it and
himself.
they make a decision, and they get it right or they get it wrong.
And he put the blame on himself. He just said,
Did he say that after?
I
didn't look into
no,
it.
I know he kept on going two fingers for 2
Oh yeah,
points.
several times.
Several times. So he's putting it on himself instead of leaving it up to giving the blame to the players.
Well, I don't know. What do you think, Melissa?
I don't know. I didn't.
Not going to change the cost of peanuts in Russia, right?
No, no. I didn't even know that. I did. Yeah, I'm not.
I didn't even know you could get peanuts in Russia. At any price.
I did not watch either game. I know it's shocking, amazement.
No, listen, not shocking. But we're delighted. A lot of people are saying worst to first, but that's not precisely mathematically correct.
No.
But the Patriots have had 2 rebuilding years, and or is it 3 now?
This is the second.
This is the second rebuilding year, right? That's what I thought. And at the end of the second year, they're doing pretty fair. Well, thank you very much, Denise. Denise just brought in. Can we change the subject over to Milk Fund?
Sure.
I know we talked about the Milk Fund auction and the busyness and all the rest of that stuff, but I do have two. I do have 2 gifts to the Milk Fund. I don't know if I'm ready to read one because there were special instructions I was told about. And no, I'm going to have to wait and get the special instructions on that one because there was special instructions when I read that one. They put it in the mail and took over a week to get here from North Smithfield. That's what the mail's been like recently. But we are going to read this one because it brings us great joy. The folks at Piet Jewelers, who, boohoo, actually had to move to Bellingham because of the way that the Walnut Hill Plaza was being so terribly managed, in my opinion. And I saw my friends go through HE double hockey sticks trying to stay in that place, and it just didn't work out. The Walnut Hill Plaza has not, well, we're hoping for better times for the Walnut Hill Plaza. It was our first big plaza, and it was really a great thing. But I remember before we moved up here to Park Avenue from downtown on Social Street, bad times had come, the end of the 20s, and the bank had taken over the building. They decided everybody must go. We're going to sell the whole building as a school. We don't want any tenants in it. And bad things were happening there. And I went, and there was a couple of empty places up there in the Walnut Hill Plaza that I thought might work for us, you know? So I went up there, and you know what their representative told me? We won't rent to you. Why? Because you have a radio station. I says, okay, well, what's the deal with that? It's basically an advertising business with a bunch of technicals. And they said, oh, yeah, but you might put on commercials for people who aren't in the plaza. And I said, yeah, probably, unless all of the people in the plaza want to buy out all the broadcast time, in which case I'd roll over and play dead and let you do it. Oh, we're not going to do that. I said, well, you know, but that's the kind of attitude that they had.
And how many owners
silly.
of the plaza since then?
I don't know,
Right.
but I could tell you this, that the Piets put up with it. And they kept trying and trying and trying, and everybody around them was going out. And then finally they moved over. Well, anyway, let's get back to what our friends the Piets have done again this year. It says, great job to supporters and staff of the Milk Fund. And this is Roland that's sending this. December 1st to the 24th, Ryan and Ross at the new location in Bellingham installed 172 batteries in watches. And there's a check here rounded off to $200 because we want to for the Milk Fund. Thank you very much.
That's good. Thank
2026 begins our 72nd year and 3 generations serving this great Rhode Island and Massachusetts area with quality and service. The Piet family and staff wish everyone a joyous holiday and healthy new year. Signed, Roland L. Piet Jr., President.
Very
And
nice. Very sweet.
The battery guy sent us $200 check for the Milk Funds. I wish I had the bells out because that's really nice.
Yes,
you
very,
don't even
very
have
nice.
you don't even have to ask these folks. This is just what they do. And this, a lot of people that when I go around,
Piet family.
they don't get the Milk Fund. What's the Milk Fund? They don't get it. I said there is no building that's owned by the Milk Fund. There's no employees of the Milk Fund. It is a bunch of people in the community who see a way to help their friends and neighbors, and then just go out and raise money and give it to the Milk Fund, which we were obliged some years ago to become an incorporated body with the bank accounts and everything else like that. And it is tax deductible to a certain extent, depending on your tax situation, we must always say, because sometimes it isn't. Yeah. So, but there's another Milk Fund story. And
great.
I have one more over here that I will read tomorrow, because I know I was advised over the telephone there was a special statement to make, and it wasn't in the envelope. So I'll do that because I want to obey all the wishes of the donors and like that. And one more day is not going to kill nothing after it took a week to get here from St. Antoine's.
Wow.
You could have rolled it down the hill faster.
Yeah.
But that's our poor people over there in the post office. They do get inundated, don't they? All right, very good. Well, it's coming up to 1:15. Time for us to take our little break over here. We'll be right back after some swell announcements, like the first ones coming from our friends on Main Street at Timeless Antiques and Collectibles. We'll be right back. ON 1240. You know, just because Christmas is over doesn't mean you can't find a treasure at Timeless Antiques and Collectibles on Main Street in Woonsocket. Inside the 3,000 square foot store, you could possibly browse for hours as you gaze upon all the items and still only see half of them. Vinyl albums, sports cars, guitars, jewelry, figurines are just a small sample of what you'd find at Timeless Antiques and Collectibles. Stop in and find out for yourself at Timeless Antiques and Collectibles, 91 Main Street in Woonsocket. Find them on Facebook.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula?
No.
Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely.
Face tattoo?
Absolutely not.
Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON Worldwide.
But I could do so many other wonderful things. All righty. We're back here on Coffee N. Joe Callahan has the day off. Dave Richards here, along with Melissa Murray and Bob Phillips. Bob, well, both of you now that I think about it for a moment, you're both going to start getting busy next week, right?
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
6th.
Yep.
Which would be
it's
next
already
week.
next week.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought it was 2
I mean,
weeks
it's not
still.
next week, though. It's this week, but just sorry, couldn't
It's not
resist.
this week. It's
just
next week.
It's this week right
What
now.
we're talking about is when the legislature convenes.
the
boys
the critters go back to
January
do their
6th.
pesky work.
Yes, those legislative critters.
Yeah.
Get back there to, well, our prayers are with you.
Thanks.
That's about the best I can say.
yeah, it's
but
gonna
our
be a tough year.
suspicions
It's gonna
abound.
It's going to be a tough year. So thank you. Appreciate
Prayers are
that.
with you, but our suspicions abound. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So last year we knew that it was going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
In both houses, and the budget was going to be a real bear, and all the rest of that stuff. But we managed to kick it down the road a little bit further, and we see more kicking going on this year.
I think there's a lot of things that we're just going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to make some really difficult decisions that are not going to be easy, but at the same time, our budget has lots of room. Even though we are facing a deficit, I would say our budget has lots of room for movement. Wouldn't you say?
We need to have some movement in the budget. The mindset down in the chambers and I'm thinking both chambers, but more the House, is that the budget just bludgeons so much. We need to just rein it in a little bit and say we've spent enough money on certain aspects of the government. Let's cut it down and try to make it more efficient. And
I'm gonna tell you both, and then I want to get a comment from both of you on your reaction to a conversation that I had over the holidays with someone who thinks they've figured it all out, because the conversation amongst the family group came up to Mr. Trump and Mr. Trump, and I'm moving the monitor over there because the guy controlling things doesn't know what's on the air. So Mr. Trump has done his best to shake things up and to make change. I think there's no one out there who could possibly disagree with that statement, regardless of your politics or whether you approve or disapprove. The man has done everything within his power to shake things up and to change things. And the comment that I heard was not one of support for Mr. Trump's moves or not support or non-support, was simply to say it was the reaction of a man who had already been president, who had seen the federal government as it's bloated, lethargic, can't get out of its own way because we just keep adding to it and not subtracting from it. Anything that you continue to add, and not subtract eventually gets too big to get out of its own way. And after 200, almost 50 years, that's happened to the United States of America, as it happens to all nations that survive 250 years. So they said, I'm totally dispassionate about it. He may have political agenda. What politician doesn't? He may have opinions, but what he's doing will have a lasting benefit on the federal government if it tends to rein it in and make it smaller. If it tends to not just make itself bigger. Because, see, it has always been doing this. And what really changed things, the point was made, was the terrorist attacks of 9/11 back in 2001. They had made 2 new, big, fully functional, all-encompassing departments of government whose jobs had previously been done by previous parts of government. And so it was algorithmic, the size of the government that the federal government we're talking about there. So now it's gotten to the point where nobody can even see what has to be done. So he's come in with a machete and done slash and burn, said anything that's truly worthwhile will survive. And the stuff that was just, well, we made it because we had a need at the moment, will not survive. And he will have managed to stem the increases, if not make the government smaller. Okay, now we finished. That's the comment. I'm going to go ladies first because Mama's always watching me. And I'm going to have Melissa answer. Now, when you hear someone say that, what would you have said in the room to a comment like that?
I would say that I don't know that necessarily applies to the federal government because we don't know what repercussions are going to happen down the road from all of these cuts. And I think some of them were quite draconian, in my opinion. But I think thinking about that philosophy in terms of the Rhode Island's budget, I think it's very appropriate.
So you're thinking that you just start trying to cut things out and then finding out what can't be.
I think it has to be, it has to be deliberate. I think going in and
but once deliberate comes in, then debate comes in and everyone loses and nothing happens.
No, I think you don't have, you don't hire somebody who doesn't have any experience in government, like Elon Musk, just come in and have a bunch
That
of...
was a boo-boo.
That was a big boo-boo, right? And we're finding out about it now, right?
But he had a big job, and nobody of that
Sure.
stature was willing to take it except for him.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody else would have tried. But, I think that you can't go in heavy-handed like that. You have to be deliberate. You have to have those conversations. You have to have those discussions, because when you are cutting, someone always is going to be affected, right?
course.
And so being deliberate, and there's a lot of duplicative programs that I think there are going to be departments that can be consolidated to save money. And I'm talking about on a state level, because that's what I know, right? And I'm not going to say them out loud. I'm thinking of some specific things.
Yeah, somebody
but,
may be making notes.
Right.
And we have
right.
an election
But-
cycle coming up, too.
Sure.
That happens too.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
happened, and that happens too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got to make some very deliberate decisions to try to, number one, curb the spending, but also we have to make decisions to try to mitigate the changes that are coming from the federal government. So it's like it's going to be a very difficult game.
Okay.
And I don't mean game in the way that I'm not taking it seriously. I mean, there's got to be some mindfulness, but also like some reality in there as well.
Bob,
Yes.
what do you think?
Are we? Do you want to talk about
you
the
just
federal
saying-
government or
Well,
the state government? Because
well,
one of the
I
things,
wanted a reaction to what they said. How plausible do you think it is that it was the reaction of a frustrated man who knew he had a very limited time and knew that something had to be done and was willing to sacrifice himself in his presidency to get it done in order to reduce the size of the federal government? That is the comment that was made. Okay. What's your reaction to it?
two things, first of all. Number one, it's the reaction of not only possibly a frustrated man, but a lot of people in the country. It's not just him. Secondly, I think that a lot of the things that he did, and when Melissa brought up Elon Musk and you brought up Elon Musk, he could do that because he's a business owner and he knows that it's all on him if it fails, and he could do other things to try and mitigate what damage he's done to his company.
Well, that's
But the
what we're taught
government-
when we run businesses. Anybody who got the rule book opened it up and said, your job is to make decisions and to reach a goal. And if you make a bad decision, you make another decision to rectify it or mitigate it.
Correct.
And that it's as simple as that when you run a big business.
Well, it depends on how drastic or how rapidly you need,
Because everyone errs.
what's being done to get done. If it was me if it was myself that was in Elon Musk's position as Doge, I would have looked and analyzed every department first before making the
Bingo.
cuts, and then said, okay.
That's not what the boss said. The boss
Well,
says it doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
Then you push back on the boss, and if you and the boss have a good
What
enough
isn't meant to
relationship,
die won't die. Just cut.
but you need to analyze it first.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for a company years ago that we had an efficiency company come in and analyze the whole corporation.
Oh boy.
And
Love
they made
consultants.
a lot of suggestions. And
They
the
always
company
do.
implemented some, and they didn't implement other ones. So it worked out pretty well. We became a little bit more of an efficient company back then, but that was, I'm talking now about 35 years ago, 30 years ago. So I think what we need as a state to do, and this is a bipartisan idea now, is get an inspector general. We need it. We have an auditor general, which audits the books after everything's done. We need an inspector general to do an ongoing.
I'm against that.
Well, we will disagree on that, Dave.
Well, you've been convinced because of what you've seen. I think that those powers should be the governor's. But that's not politically viable because now the legislature is going to say you're giving too much power to the governor. I get it. We're playing in the same sandbox, and I don't want him to have the yellow truck because I want to play with the yellow truck when I want.
What the governor sets the budget up.
You don't need another person doing it because now you are taking. Well, now wait a minute. There's a way you can convince me that it's a good idea, and you're going to hear it after I finish my comment.
Go ahead.
You are taking too much power and putting it in a non-elected official's hands. That kind of power, that kind of scrutiny, that kind of influence must be vested in elected officials' hands in order to get my support.
Okay.
And if you want to make another
disagree.
department and you think we can sustain it and you think that the savings that we can get will sustain that department plus still be net savings, make your argument. You can persuade me. Except I will not see that kind of power and influence go into the hands of a non-elected official.
Okay.
There must be consequences for bad performance. And bureaucrats don't get consequences for bad performance. That's my point of view. Melissa's smiling. Thank you for smiling, Melissa.
I am because I'm agreeing with you, Dave.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think, all
But the debate has begun.
Well, let me just say this. All appointments are political, right?
Of course they are.
Even if you say, I picked the
dealing
best
with
person
human
that I
beings.
thought could do the best job. All appointments are political. Even the ones that are appointed by the governor and, ratified by, given advice and consent and, ratified by the Senate. There's always some give and take going on behind the scenes, right? It's not cut and dry like, I picked this person because I think they're the best person. And they're like, oh, yes, we also agree that we interviewed him. We think he's the best person. Like, no, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. I'm sorry if you don't want to hear that, but this is the truth, right? Because all appointments, whether they're on the municipal level, the state level, or
Right.
the federal level, they're all political, right? So you can't take the politics out of appointments, but you can take that aspect out of the position by making an elected position.
All right.
Right? I mean, but we'll see what happens. We'll
But
see
did
what
you
happens.
both get a chance to say what you wanted to say?
Sure.
Because I have to change segments now. but I
Majority
think-
rules, so we'll see.
Majority.
Right?
Right, majority rules.
Well,
Yes.
I mean,
it's Dave Richards, Bob Phillips, and Pollyanna Murray here.
don't blame me. I voted in the majority.
And we'll be back with more Coffee Ad after, let's see the weather forecast, right? We're going to have to do the weather forecast. We're going to do the weather forecast, and I have this message to do before the weather forecast. It's been way too long since I've done this show. All right, here we go. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org. We have a note from the panel that we're going to read when we come back, by the way. And I'll try to do better in the next half of the show. It's just one of those things. Broadcasting is like not 85% habit, and I don't do this show often enough to do it smoothly. So I'll just quit whining and give you the weather forecast. A 100% chance of rain today, especially before 4 p.m. Areas of fog early, and high of 49 degrees. Breeze from the southwest up to 25 miles per hour. A tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain is possible during the day today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, overnight low of 21, with a west wind howling up to 35 miles per hour. Tuesday, partly sunny skies, high of 27, really breezy from the west, with gusts of wind up to 50 miles per hour Tuesday. Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies and 33, wind dies down to about 20. Wednesday night, a 40% chance of snow showers between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m., mostly cloudy skies, with an overnight low of 17. New Year's Day, mostly sunny skies with a high of 25, west winds as high as 25 miles per hour on the holiday. Friday, mostly sunny and 26. Saturday, mostly sunny and a high near 30. And on Sunday, mostly sunny skies, a high near 29 degrees for the day. Presently outside our Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio, we're up another degree to 42 degrees here, up from our overnight low of 39 degrees. Don't get caught out in the cold this winter. Inferno Audio offers top-tier remote car starters. Heat up your ride from inside your cozy home. No more freezing your fingers, scraping ice off your windshield. And when you need a new key for your vehicle, Before heading to the dealer, stop in to see Keith at Inferno Audio, Clinton Street, Woonsocket, for a less expensive option. Be sure to visit infernoaudio.com.
If household finances are tight and you're having trouble paying the heating bills, the Good Neighbor Energy Fund may be able to provide assistance. Please contact a local CAP agency, call United Way 211, or visit Rhode-IslandGoodNeighbor.org. Ad sponsored by the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
ON Radio.
All righty. Yeah, duplicity is very important. We were just discussing while the commercials were ending. Duplicity is very important because you need someone else to blame it on when it goes wrong. Oh, it wasn't us doing that.
Oh, yeah,
There was
no,
somebody else doing that. It was our duplicate
those other
agency
people
was
that do
doing
this,
that.
yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Note in from the audience while we were making those other discussions there before. If Mr. Trump is trying to make government smaller, why did he give $30 billion to, I think it's Bolivia?
Good question.
Well, that's been a question now for a long, long time about foreign aid. It's some people are not into it. Some people are into it. They see what's happening. But Bob has the answer.
No, I don't have the answer. I just have a question. Is this money that was already being spent in one aspect, he took it away from one area and just sent it to another one that he thinks it's going to be used more efficiently?
Okay.
I don't know the answer. I didn't know that he gave $30 billion to Bolivia, if that's the country that is the one that he gave it to.
Yeah, I wasn't aware myself. I didn't
He might
see
have
any.
taken $30 billion. He might have taken $30 billion away from Venezuela and gave it to Bolivia. Now,
Hey, there you go.
So-
Venezuela's not on our
friend
our
list.
nice list.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
that's what's happening, then he's trying something different. He's using the same money that's been allocated and shifting it to a different area.
Do I remember this? I got test my memory here. The Citgo gas stations that we see, the oil company that owns Citgo, is it not Venezuelan?
It was. I don't know if it still is, but years ago it was.
Yeah, I just trying to remember. I said, well, why would you be taking off Venezuela? You're going to take a whole oil
It was
company out
also
of play here.
Venezuelan oil and gas. So I thought it was owned by the country of Venezuela.
Used to be City Service. You guys are too young and beautiful to remember
Oh,
that.
yes, I remember.
You remember City Service
I'm only
gas
6
stations?
months younger than you are, David.
Oh, okay. All right.
David.
On the other hand, Melissa's much
Much
not
younger.
much.
Much younger than us.
Not much.
Yes.
Not much.
All righty. Very good. So, I guess it's a rhetorical question. I don't know what more further discussion we can have on it. If he's trying to make government smaller, why is he giving money to a foreign country? It's a program. It's what presidents do, and it's what you're looking at that's business as usual. Buying friends.
We've done that for hundreds of years.
Yes, we have. Not sure if it's the good public policy, but that's exactly what we've been doing for a long, long time. All right, let's talk about some other stuff that's going on around the area. Oh, there's. Do you want to talk about really serious stuff, or you want to talk about? Let's do another serious one.
Sure.
Is anyone other than me getting totally blasé and cross-eyed over the many, many, many announcements that our Attorney General, Peter Nerona, is suing the president over one thing or another that he did? To me, I'm looking at it, I'm just going cross-eyed. There's so many of them. And every once in a while you see that, okay, well, the judge agreed with us. And then the president, well, let's just talk about this. The offshore oil rigs, wind rigs, which I have never, ever, ever been in favor of, because to me, green economy is a false economy. You'll find out it's going to cost you far more later on, and then you won't be able to sustain the cost. That's my personal opinion on the green energy as a political movement. I would definitely have solar panels. I would definitely have a windmill if I found it was right for my circumstance. I like the idea of them being there to offset fossil fuels. I'm not real excited about using fossil fuels as far as my own personal opinions are concerned. but having an affection, as so many Rhode Islanders do, for our coastline, really, really not happy about the idea that these terribly vulnerable structures that we put up there, let's not even go to the eyesore thing and the rest of that sort of stuff, which could, I mean, the first hurricane, they're toast. And everything you spent on them. And everything you dismantled because you were going to have them. And every law that you dummies in Providence passed to make sure that we had to rely on those wind turbines and not on fossil fuels is going to now have an emergency. Oh, yeah, well, we got to go back to fossil fuels. But the infrastructure, seeing its business shrinking, is now no longer to take the capacity that now we're going to have just rolling brownouts all the time because some dumb storm decided to come up like it's been due for the last 25 years and whack the heck out of New England's wind farms. That's my personal concern. And that's what my personal, I'm against it because it's dopey. You cannot, the economics don't exist. Now, I have two Democratic legislators sitting at the table with me this morning, and before I get into the whole thing about liberal and conservative and all the rest of this stuff, because I don't think anybody's totally liberal or totally conservative except speech makers, because any sentient human being sees a middle ground somewhere. And we both all know that I'm in the middle when it comes to politics and conservative and liberal. I'm going to look at you guys. I'm going to say, go ahead, react to that wind farm stuff. Because, we won in court, and the president says, oh, well, I could just pull the leases.
Right.
Trump, more than just the last name. It's also a procedure, right? What are you thinking? Bob? Melissa? Who wants to go first?
Ladies first.
All right.
So going back to Nerona suing Trump for basically everything.
He took a breath. I'm going to court.
Yeah, right. The judge says, oh, yes, I agree with you. Well, there's going to be an appeal. And if Trump doesn't get what he wants, he's like, all right, well, I'm just going to take it by force, right? Because that's his nature. That's what he does.
Right.
I think going back to the AG, this is his last term. He said that he's not going to run for anything.
Do you believe he's not going to run for governor? Because he was like really
I kind of do,
I do.
Yeah,
also.
yeah. And I think he's like, look, this is not my turn, right? He's a lame duck now, and he's like, hey, I'm going to push back because that's who I am. And
I have nothing to lose.
Yeah, right. He has nothing to lose. So he's going to push back, and he's going to continue to push back. And I think we're going to see this just continuing to happen throughout the rest of his term. And then, of course, it's just this like push-pull, right? And Trump's going to say, whether it's upheld or not by the courts, all right, well, I'm going to appeal. I'm going to just do it anyway. So I don't know how effective it is, except to, you can't really say he's doing it because he's running for something else, because he's not. But I've spoken to him, and he's like, look, I'm here. He basically didn't use the term like lame duck, but he's like, look, I'm here for this term, and I am going to do what I think is right. And I truly do believe he thinks that what he's doing is the right thing to do to protect the people of Rhode Island. Whether or not that's accurate is up for debate. Right?
Yeah.
And then you have, on the other hand, Trump, who is also a lame duck.
Right. Well,
so now you have two lame ducks.
I don't know if he thinks
that's up for discussion in another battle at the Supreme Court, I'm
he's
sure.
Going to be, he can't be elected to a third term, so he's a lame duck.
He can't be. But, we've seen some crazy mindsets here. Just saying.
Right.
He might try.
But then you're going to have two, people that are rock hard in their stances and that going at each other, and then we're going to accomplish almost nothing.
Right. Those two folks that we've been speaking about are never probably going to agree on anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll ever go out for a cup of tea or coffee or anything
doubt
together.
that very much.
Oh, you never know that.
I'd be pretty willing to bet on that.
I would probably take those odds.
You never really know that. I mean,
I'd wager that.
I mean, Bob Dole and Bill Clinton sat down for dinner one time, and they were just like so polar opposites.
Well,
I would be mixed.
That was a different time where people actually
could talk to each other instead of go after each other.
Okay.
We have
We have two notes here.
Okay.
But it's time for a break. So we promise to have the notes come in right after this commercial break here on Coffee and ON Radio.
With appliance savings at the Home Depot, get up to 40% off select innovative appliances like GE Profile. Add a touch of ease to your holiday with the all-in-one combo to wash and dry your laundry in one machine. And refrigerators with built-in convenient features like the dual dispense autofill water pitcher. Shop appliance savings plus free delivery on select GE appliances now at the Home Depot. Free delivery on select GE appliance purchases of $396 or more. Offer valid 12/11 through 1/1. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Words reserved.
ON Radio.
Back here on Coffee and Joe's got the day off, and Dave and Melissa Murray and Bob Phillips is here, and we have a bunch of notes in here, and we're going to read them right now. Did we cut you off in what you were saying? Did we finish what you guys were saying? Okay, very good. All right, so the to the panel. Yet, I guess he's continuing his earlier thought, or she. I'm sorry. Yet Trump cut food stamps and medical for families in the U.S. Okay. Yeah, and okay, it's all part of the same game that he's trying to make the government smaller. Because, right.
He's going after
now,
the
obviously,
fraud.
the caller is very upset with the things that he chooses to do.
Yeah.
But the comment that I brought up for discussion was that Mr. Trump isn't choosing necessarily to do anything but cause cuts that could reduce the government, or at the very least shake things up so that people rethink everything and reprioritize.
There's cuts that are made because something is inflated or, is duplicative or whatever. You don't cut programs like that. And it's been proven that the waste is very small. Like the people who are so-called, quote, abusing these programs is very small. Can there be room for improvement? Absolutely. But, those kinds of cuts, SNAP and Medicaid, that's going to affect children, many children, mostly children under 6, majority. It's going to affect people with disabilities. It's going to affect the elderly. And these are the most vulnerable people in our community. These are the people we're supposed to be looking out for. And part of my job this year is going to be to try to somehow mitigate those cuts so that kids don't go hungry or, folks don't go out without medical coverage, because the folks who are going to fall off Medicaid, they don't make enough to buy into the marketplace. And so they're going to choose to pay that fine, pay that whatever it is at the end of the year when they file their taxes for not having insurance, because it's going to cost them way less than to actually have insurance to pay for that monetarily. But the real cost of public health is going to cost us much, much, much more. And it's going to fall on the states, and it's going to fall on us to take care of those folks. And believe me, we will pay more for them in the future. That's my own personal opinion. Like I said, you have to be deliberate. You have to be mindful. You have to think about, the folks who are going to be affected.
Nice. Bob? She didn't leave you much meat on the bone there.
No,
I feel very passionate about this.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, his programs that he wants to do sounds great. His implementation is not the best. He's just doing, as you said, just doing a whack job, cutting everything out or cutting, most of it off and everything else. And it's not the way you should be doing it. If there's fraud, and there is fraud in every department that's going on,
Sure.
go after that.
If there's
Don't
a program,
cut the
there's
people
fraud,
that
but,
are
yeah.
that really need it. And I've talked to a few people who really, they said, I only get X amount of food stamps.
Right.
And I really need it.
Right.
I don't buy all these luxury steaks and everything else.
Yeah, that's a trope that I think people are pushing to make us, to pit us against each other. Like,
Right.
these people are getting something that you're not.
When you're dealing with the general public, there's always going to be those who try to game the system. Unfairly.
But they're not
go
the
after
majority.
Them. Don't
by
go after
far.
the people that absolutely need it.
Yeah. All right. I got a couple more notes here, and keep calling them in. 766-1240 if you want to. To the panel, solar power belongs in the desert. Oh, they're making a statement. Wind farms should be on land, on the coast, not in the water. Well,
we have both.
I'm not 100% for the wind farms themselves, because I'm finding out more and more that, number one, the blades have PFAS in it, and PFAS is a very, very carcinogenic
and
material.
it'll be in the ocean when they
exactly
ultimately break off and fall in.
Exactly. And the other thing is,
PFAS, by the way, is a chemical in the plastic, folks.
Correct. And the other thing is, on the blades, they're not recyclable. They cut them up and they bring them to the Midwest and they bury them in the earth in the Midwest.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. So what we're not doing what we're trying to perform per se that we're supposed to be doing.
Solar panels aren't recyclable either.
That's correct, but they can break them down in certain parts. They can recycle. Right. Most of it they can't. But unfortunately, you're right.
Like a lot of municipalities are putting in these solar farms, and the question always is, well, okay, if this has a lifespan of 30 years, what's your plan?
Years? I'm not running for re-election in 30 years. I don't care.
That's right. Exactly.
That's someone else's problem.
That's the mentality. So what happens in 30 years isn't really a long time, folks.
I have an answer, obviously. Solid waste dump sites. Just cover them over with solid waste. Use the land for that.
Why don't we,
and put another solar panel, put more on top?
There you go.
I would like
on there,
that doesn't seem like a good
I would like us to look into the new type of nuclear power. But right now, the two problems
fusion instead of fission, you mean?
Fusion instead of fission.
Yeah,
that's correct.
We've been saying that for 50 years.
And you can build it on a smaller scale. We can put one in the state of Rhode Island. We might not have the land at Quonset, but Quonset would be a great area to put it in, so that it would generate all that development corporation there.
Question: where is the state of Rhode Island's nuclear power plant? I know. I worked near it for 5.5 years.
Isn't it near Narragansett or Kingston?
It's in Narragansett, geographically, and it is on the campus of the URI's Ocean Science campus.
I did not know exactly where it was.
Right there on Narragansett Bay, a big white building, and you know what they use it for? No. To project movies on summer evenings for the kids.
Wonderful.
Because it's a big square white building.
But
it's operating. It's operating nuclear power, but it works on fission, not on fusion.
Right. If we need to do the fusion.
Yeah, we got to start developing that fusion stuff. We know that.
The two problems with that
political will is not there.
But the two problems with it is it's very expensive right now.
Yeah.
And it takes too long to build it and implement it.
There you go. All right. Time to play. Oh, wait a minute. Here is an interesting one. This is a good question here. Uh-oh. Caller wants to know, and it doesn't have anything to do with you guys.
Okay.
Caller wants to know why, when Socket did not do the parking ban by telephone as they did last year, that's the Code Red system.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now that they bring it up, I don't remember getting my four Code Red
Nancy and I were wondering the same thing.
4 different lines, they call Code Red on all 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and then send it to you, a text message to your cell phone too.
Right. Well, I didn't give him my cell phone. So there you go. But seriously, that's right. I don't know why. So this is what
I
I've
didn't
done.
think about it until they just brought it up. We know because obviously I work here at the station, so
Yeah.
I knew there was a parking ban. I let everybody know as much
You're
as
the
I
one
could.
that put it on our website.
Yeah, and personally, I let everybody know. But yeah, you know what? I didn't get that call.
So what I have done is I have texted Chief Tom Oates because I have his cell number. So I've sent him a text saying, Chief, I have a listener asking why the code red system was not used for the last snowstorm and parking ban. What do I tell them? And when I get an answer back, I'll let you know.
Very good.
I'll let everybody know.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
great question.
let's see if there's a decision that needs to be made over here. Boston Archbishop Richard Henning, who we know because of his recent local area. All right, so he's planning to meet next month, which just goes to show you the urgency involved, with a pastor of St. Susanna Church in Dedham, Massachusetts, to discuss the controversial nativity scene. Did anybody see this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Melissa's up on it. In place of Mary, Joseph, and the infant Jesus in the creche, there's no humans seen, and it says there's a sign that reads, "Ice was here." Now, the Archbishop is, of course, receiving complaints about this, and he's calling it a divisive political display and cautions the priest about it. The priest does not take that wise counsel and thinks he did the right thing anyway because of how his parishioners are being affected by what's going on recently. What do you think? Is it a mountain or a molehill?
I think molehill.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that if you just let it go, it'll go away.
Well, sure.
Well, some folks are real upset about it, though. So
Yeah,
I'm
I know
sure
that.
the bishop is getting pressure from people to, other people to address this. But when you look at the things that the Pope has been saying, it's kind of in line of the message that he's been preaching. So,
well, there's lots of other fun things we could talk about, but I'm just so tempted because it's so
you
rare.
just want to talk about fun things today.
It's so rare that we have one senator and one representative here on the panel in the morning, and a blank slate for 60 minutes.
No fun for us.
So
all right.
Well, this is kind of like fun for me and not fun for you. The question is it a conflict of interest for the Rhode Island legislature to pass laws regarding increases in the minimum wage, since it will likely increase their own wages, at least indirectly? Well, because if the minimum wage goes up, but if you're going to keep the differential, then someone who earns more than minimum wage will get an increase. And since it increases inflation anyway, every move to demand minimum wage increases inflation. It also leads to higher paychecks anyway. So can it be reasoned that it's a conflict of interest for legislatures to get bound up in this? Or should it be left to the free marketplace that any employer who wants employees should pay appropriately?
They should, but
this debate has already happened once before.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's going to continue to happen. Sure, the employer should pay their employees appropriately, and many good employers do. But then you have the fine folks over big corporations like the one right down the road who don't even pay their employees enough. They pay them so little that, and I'm talking about corporate places, pay them so little that their employees actually qualify for Medicaid. So who pays that? We do. We do. So
is
you're
the
forcing the
reasoning,
hand.
Melissa, the lesser of the evils?
Well, do you want the corporations to actually pay, or would you like us to keep funding them underpaying their employees? I mean, that's my take on it.
Okay.
I love big corporations, as you know.
Bob, we have time for one last.
Sarcastic.
We have time for one last
I don't
comment, Bob, and it's yours.
Well, I've always espoused to the venue that if you have zero unemployment, you're going to pay your employees higher because you're fighting another company for that employee.
Yeah.
We used to have that back in the 70s and 80s, that there was so few available people, companies, stores, regular stores and everything, McDonald's and Burger Kings and those fast food chains also were raising their wages because they couldn't get the employees. So that's the way, you let the market do it, and it should work out. People that want to get ahead are going to get ahead. People that don't want to really work and just working the minimum they can just to survive and saying, oh, I'll let such and so take care of me, the government, let's say, that doesn't work so well.
Mm-hmm. Well, many of these are questions that will live on past us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, because they are part of the human experience here. I just want to put you on the hot seat there and get your expressions there for
it is a little warm in here,
posterity.
isn't it,
Yeah, so Bob, thanks so much for coming.
Of course.
All
Thank
right.
you, Dave.
Melissa, I know you're a regular on Monday and you've got other
I wear
things
many
to do
hats,
in
and
the
today I
office.
had my Senate
Yes.
hat on.
Enjoy your raise next year. So it's going to happen eventually. You can't, because
Well, ours is tied to inflation, and there are a lot of people who say, well, you should, if you're going to do minimum wage, you should tie it to CPI. So there's that school of thought too, and everything in between, right? So, yeah.
and the debate continues.
And the debate continues.
Thanks for
yeah.
being here today.
Yeah, thank you.
And Joe, thanks for not being here today so I could sit and enjoy the company of these two fine individuals. If you missed any portion of our program, pick it up on demand at woonsockeradio.com in the on-demand section. And like that, and by the way, our on-demand section has been all spiffied up and really looking sharp these days. So you can also see all of our basketball games that we had over the weekend, the tournament for the Boys and Girls Club of Northern Rhode Island.
Christmas concerts.
Yeah, Christmas concerts are in there.
Yep,
the cheap
all kinds
seats,
of
all
stuff.
the coffee ends, they're all in there. So go and twiddle to your heart's content, and it's now mobile friendly. So
Melissa put her mittens back on.
I did, because I was gonna go like this and say, "Don't you remember this?" Like with this. See, now he remembers. Now he
He
remembers.
went like this, though, didn't he? Also.
No, I think
And
it
they
was
had
like
one
the-
showing
yeah,
out.
Yeah.
And my last comment is make it is that we don't have a special show. This is the rare fifth Monday of the month, so we don't have a special show after 9 o'clock this morning. Enjoy the music, and we'll see you tomorrow morning on the Morning Fun Show, and Joe will be back for coffee, and make it a good day.